And as the heated protests in Hong Kong do rage on, protesters are leveraging on various flashpoints to rally others to their cause. As FIFA Arifin reports, analysts say this could be one way to keep up the pressure on the government.
It was a sea of purple lights at Chater Garden on Wednesday as tens of thousands gathered as part of the #Protest2 movement. Their call to rally against the Hong Kong police's sexual abuse against arrested protesters. The police has publicly come out to refute these allegations after concluding their own investigations. But the public isn't convinced. Violence also broke out in Kowloon Bay last weekend during a protest over smart lampposts. Protesters say facial recognition and surveillance capabilities in these lampposts are being used by the authorities to identify them. But the government has denied this and said the project was first mooted last year, way before the anti-government protests broke out. These are two of such demonstrations carried out in recent weeks, with the police sexual assault and smart lamppost accusations reducing the main controversial extradition bill to the sidelines. Even after the bill was shelved, anti-government demonstrations continue.
This issue has actually somehow shifted focus from the 5 demands a little bit, because the people in Hong Kong are really incensed, okay, not only among those frontline protesters, but also ordinary people. I think that also explains why we have seen an obvious shift in the public sentiment, that more people are now condoning the use of some kind of violence from the protesters against the police.
Some quarters also feel that the protesters are leveraging any controversies arising from the protests as reasons to hold rallies. But protesters feel otherwise.
No, we are very focused on what we want. We don't want the extradition bill. We have the 5 requests for Carrie Lam, and we're focused on them.
One of the demands is we need the police to resolve the problem. We need the independent commission. So that's why I think every bit of it is actually about the whole thing. It's about lack of democracy of Hong Kong.
Hong Kong's Chief Executive Carrie Lam has promised to create a platform for dialogue, but she continued to dismiss calls to an independent inquiry into police conduct. And she also ruled out a formal withdrawal of the now-defunct extradition bill. These are two of the key 5 demands protesters are calling for. The snowballing political crisis in the city has now gone into its 13th week with no clear end in sight. And while protesters are using ways and means to make their voices heard all around the world, it remains to be seen whether Carrie Lam's administration is ready to listen. FIFA Arifin, CNA, Hong Kong.